And we are joined by Viola Davis, Golden Globe and Academy Award nominee. We got to throw that in there. Viola, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine.
Very good. You've got a big movie coming out here. The Help is the newest project here, and you got a big part in it. You are the Help, correct?
I am the Help. Yep, I'm playing Aibileen, a maid in 1961 Mississippi who kind of risks her life to share her story about how she feels working as a domestic.
That's cool. It sounds like a great... I mean, obviously, a lot of people probably are familiar with The Help, but they probably read the book, which has now been turned into this film. And for people that haven't read the book, kind of give them the story here. You work in a home. You are the...
I work in a home. I take care of this little baby named May Mobley. And the whole story, the basic premise is that this young girl, played by Emma Stone, graduates from college, and she decides that she's going to be a writer. So she decides to write a book about how black domestics feel working for their white counterparts in 1961 Mississippi. And that's the whole premise of the story. And along the way, you see all these relationships. I think everyone thinks it's kind of a chick flick, but I think men are being moved by it too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it sounds more historical than anything. I mean, kind of we don't. I think obviously people think back to those times and realize, like, oh yeah, that was wrong. There was a lot of bad things that happened, but there wasn't a lot of. You don't get to hear the stories firsthand and like really experience it, where you're putting a face and a character to it and seeing that these were real people. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think that what people will be surprised with in this is that the civil rights movement is the backdrop. What's at the forefront is the relationship with these women, which is so rich. It's a lot of pathos. I mean, a lot of like tears, but then a lot of laughter in it. And I'm telling you, it's tested really well with men. I'm talking about the biggest, strappiest dudes are coming to this movie, and they're just crying. They're just leaving, crying, laughing, just. It's kind of a life-affirming movie.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I'm very excited. And, I mean, usually when a book does that well, I mean, you know that the story and the source material is really good, and it's got a great cast, so it seems like you can't go wrong with a great cast and a good script, so it's got to be good.
And, in the midst of a whole summer filled with blockbusters with robots and car chases, I think this is going to be a welcome change where you just see good old-fashioned storytelling, and you could bring your kids, you could bring anyone to come see it, your dude, it could be a date movie, women could come together, and I think people will be absolutely pleasantly surprised.
Very good. And Emma Stone is in this movie. I don't know if you've noticed it, but Emma Stone, I believe, is in every single movie coming out in the next year and a half.
Absolutely. And let me tell you something. She's just, her star has just rose. Even since we shot The Help last summer, she's turned into this big movie star. But I'm telling you, completely down to earth, intelligent, just the most wonderful young girl you could possibly imagine. I'm happy for everything she does.
Yeah, it's cool. She seems like that, so that's good to hear. Did you have to do a lot of research for this role? I mean, did you go back and do a lot of history study? I mean, what kind of experience did you have getting into character?
I had to do a lot of study of history, just reading books, Eyes on the Prize, a documentary series on PBS, documentaries about maids, and then just being in Mississippi. Mississippi is a character in and of itself in this movie. The heat, the food, the southern hospitality, but then the tension, the tension of what that time period just brought up, the tension of race and hatred and people being dismissed. You'll see all of it in the movie, especially when you see all the sweat coming off of our faces, under our arms. I mean, 110 degrees, 100% humidity.
Wow.
When we were shooting in Mississippi.
That's got to be rough for sure. Was it hard for you, like, playing that character? I mean, did it make you really, feel that experience and, like, imagine what it would be like to be, like, indentured and, have somebody that...
Absolutely.
I can't imagine
I felt these women, absolutely. And I felt just the frustration of having to feel invisible every day and kind of having to squelch your dreams and your hopes. And at the same time, I felt the nurturing and love that these women had for these children. So it's like this movie is, an homage to these women who contributed so much to the culture. So many people had nannies growing up or help growing up, and they contributed to their lives in so many ways. So, and a lot of people have shared their stories of their nannies, their maids, their housekeepers, and how they were surrogate mothers to them.
Mm-hmm.
So this movie is really lifting them up.
That sounds great. We're talking to Viola Davis about the movie The Help, which opens next Wednesday. Had you read the book The Help before you were asked to audition for this, or did you take a look at it once you were asked to be a part of the film?
Oh, no, I read the book beforehand and just thought it was the most fantastic book and said, I'm going to buy the rights. I'm going to star in it. I'm going to produce it. I'm going to do it all, and found out that this man named Tate Taylor had the rights, and I thought I could throw him $500 and he'd give it up to me. But he didn't. He ended up, he's the director and he's the writer of the movie, and he was gracious enough to cast me as Aibileen.
What a cool story, though, that it spoke to you that deeply, and you wanted to be a part of it, and then it worked out to where you do get to be a part of it.
Oh, absolutely, because very rarely do I get to play a lead. As a woman of color in Hollywood, very rarely do you get lead roles, and very rarely do you get roles that are written so richly. You know exactly who these women are, and I'm telling you, you got to root for them. They're the heroes of the movie, and they're ordinary women who just rise to extraordinary heights. And what a wonderful thing, in a movie filled with Transformers and, Harry Potter and people slaying dragons,
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I think that people will see that this is maybe the surprise hit of the summer.
That'll be cool. Yeah, it is nice to mix it up and have a film that's about people and just real people there. And after this, The Help, which opens next Wednesday, after that, what do you have going on? I see that, are you working on Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close? Is that happening?
I finished Extremely Loud, Incredibly Close, Sandra Bullock and Tom Hanks starring in that. And I finished a movie called Steel Town with Maggie Gyllenhaal and Holly Hunter and Rosie Perez.
You're busy.
That was a strong female movie, too. So this is a female warrior kind of year.
You are out there. Is this a dream come true for you where you're at in your career right now? Is this something you've always wanted to do? Did you ever imagine being this successful and getting to work on such amazing projects?
Oh, my goodness. You know what? That's the key word. I could just imagine it. I've always dreamed of being an actor. I went to school for acting. I went to Juilliard. I have a degree in acting from Rhode Island College. I've always wanted to be an actor. I could never even imagine it getting to the point it's at now, working with great actors like Meryl Streep and Cicely Tyson, and I've had the opportunities, and Denzel Washington last year did Fences on Broadway with Denzel Washington playing his wife, Who would have thought that, as a young girl growing up in Central Falls, Rhode Island, of all places, beautiful small town in Rhode Island. But so, it's a testament to dreaming big and putting it out there and not knowing what it's going to do, but life can surprise you sometimes.
Going for it. That's great advice, and it's been so great talking to you. The movie is The Help. Viola Davis stars as The Help in that film. It's going to be great, and it opens next Wednesday. Everybody's texting in, telling us how excited they are for the film and how great it's been hearing from you. Everybody said you sound like such a nice lady, and I agree.
Thank you.
Viola Davis, thank you so much for being with us, and hopefully we'll get the chance to talk to you again in the future. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you very much.
All right, bye-bye. Have a great morning.
Okay, bye-bye.
The Big J Show. Weekday mornings from 6 till 10 on Billings' #1 hit music station, Hot 101.9.